movers. Hey, real quick, last day in my house here in Spring, Texas before I move to Puerto Rico. This background picture is going to change for you guys. Get ready for this. Hey, wanted to talk to you guys about, of course, what's going on, right? The crazy riots and all this stuff going on. First of all, my first thoughts, my first energy, my first impression from this is it's totally not a planned psyop from the beginning. However, after what happened day one in Minnesota, I believe that's when they came in and started stirring up stuff, provocateurs. I believe it's been hijacked now, and I believe it's going to be further hijacked, and the message is going to be hijacked. You can clearly see that there is a large majority of the people, and I can't wait until we can all figure this out on a very large majority, and we can get around those provocateurs and get people to understand what those provocateurs are doing. That is going to be very key to our success, to this change of history, this revolution, freedom revolution, peaceful freedom revolution that we must have. So I think by getting people more information and letting them know about the provocateurs, it's very, very important, because I've seen all these protests, especially last night in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. There was protest all over the nation, and for the large majority, peaceful people were out in the streets protesting their grievances and having their voice heard. Okay, there are a couple people who got arrested and people who were jumping on cop cars and stuff like that, and the majority of the violence and the majority of the aggression is coming from the police. That's coming from the police departments. Okay, and people on a large scale are very, very peaceful for the most part, and the provocateurs are coming in and stirring shit up. And I'm urging everybody at these rallies and at these protests to keep your eyes out for these provocateurs, these people who are just randomly going and smashing windows and burning shit, because those aren't the people with the same message as the people who are genuinely taking the streets with a message of "I can't breathe," or George Floyd, or no justice, no peace. Their message that they're spreading is one that is on purpose, and it's to distract people and divide people. These provocateurs are real. And I believe they have already got in there and hijacked this message. There's a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, I don't want to make it sound like a lot of people, I don't know. There are people saying, hey, this was a psyop from the beginning, this was planned, and I'm not buying that. I believe this was a genuine, atrocious murder by a cop, which happens every single day. This one just happened to get caught on camera, and people are tired of this shit and frustrated about what's going on in the corona world. And so people are getting up and doing something about this on a large scale. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. There are people who are also saying this is exactly what the government wants. They want people getting crazy and burning down government buildings so they can usher in martial law and control all of us. What? No. That's what they don't want. They don't want an uprising. They don't want people unified in the streets saying "I can't breathe," saying "justice, no peace." What they want is obedient, apathetic, complacent people who will stay in their home, follow the mask order and the social distancing order, and stay locked in their home. That was the whole reason of the corona bug. That was martial law without martial law, guys. Come on. They got people to stay in their house and social distance without even putting any military or anything on the road. People voluntarily did that shit. And it wasn't until this stupid cop killed that man, murdered him. It wasn't until then that people got out in the streets, and then they were like, oh shit, we got to do something about this. And did you see the cops and the government? They've been running like scared little bitches. They don't want an uprising. So I'm heavily in disagreement with the people who say this is exactly what they want so they can bring in martial law. No, 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 no. They already had what they wanted. Complacent people staying inside. All those people who are out in the streets right now protesting and rioting, they are also the ones who still believe that there's a boogeyman virus running around out there. They didn't want those people in the streets. Trust me, they don't want an uprising. They do not want this. They want people complacent in their homes and scared of the boogeyman corona bug. So to all those people who think this is exactly what they want, don't get out in the streets and don't start the uprising, you're wrong. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. This was just a quick video about the provocateurs and keeping our eyes out from them distracting us and co-opting our message to something else. It gets a lot of people distracted. These provocateurs are horrible, and they have been engineered and designed to destroy movements, and we need to let people know about these provocateurs. I also am very questionable about the people who think everything is a psyop and everyone's a provocateur. Those people I'm starting to question, and maybe they're provocateurs themselves and they're psyops themselves, because not everything's a psyop and not everything's provocateur. There is reality in this. There are stupid people. It's just the way it is. But we can't just claim everything a psyop and everything taken over by the government without a lot of definitive proof. Some people were telling me, oh well, Floyd and Chavin, they work together, so it's a psyop. Just because they work together in a small town doesn't mean it was a psyop. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Just because they work together doesn't mean case closed psyop. I mean, there was legitimately people thinking that just because they worked together, that it was all of a sudden a psyop. They lived in the same town, man. And then somebody else said that his neighbors didn't know he was a cop. Okay, just because a couple neighbors didn't know he was a cop, all of a sudden it's a psyop? Come on, people, you got to have more credible information than a couple neighbors didn't know he was a cop and that they worked together at one point. Get real, y'all. Get woke on a real level. This is an energy you feel. This isn't something you just get online and you pick up a bunch of random messages from the first rumor you hear and then you start running with it and you spread rumors to make real truthers and people who understand really what's going on. You make them look horrible and bad. That's what these always psyopsers and always whatever. These people who think everything's a psyop and everything is a provocateur or a special agent. Okay, not everybody is. Okay, yes, there is a lot of that, but it's not everything. It's not all the time. Get your mind right, scoop into the facts, research from all directions, and don't just take the first thing you hear and start spreading it back. Take what you hear, research it, analyze it, take it in from all viewpoints and all angles, and come up with your own viewpoint and your own conclusion and your own individual thoughts. Appreciate y'all's love. Don't forget to sign up on the Patreon. Join our Discord group. We got about 800 people in there from all over the world. It's a very new Discord group, but we're growing. Get in there. There's a bunch of activists from all over the world. South Africa, Italy, Canada, Netherlands, every single state. People are talking about getting active, planning events, and taking action in your community. There's a bunch of people posting about which rallies are coming next, where the protests are happening and taking place. A bunch of resources in our Discord group you can use. It's the activist plug for a reason, because you can plug yourself into the activist world, grab resources, organize, take action, and change the course of history. Y'all stay blessed.